What's up, YouTube? I'm the Nice One, and today we are making we're continuing the Paladin character model we started last week. This is part 2 of the video, so if you haven't watched part 1, I'll link it down in the description below. Again, all of the same things. So bottom right corner, you're going to see all the keystrokes I hit. I'm going to try my best to speak it out loud as I go through the whole process. And as usual, leave any questions or comments if you have it down below, and let's get started. Okie dokie. So let's continue where we left off. You'll notice that I did a couple of things here. I scaled down this front gorget, or like this front bib kind of thing, because I thought before it was a bit tall, and I thought that was kind of disproportionate for what I wanted. And you'll also notice that this line here is a bit sharper. The way I did that was I selected here. You'll see that I selected this edges, and I actually just hit Control B to bevel to give it that sharper sort of crease there. So that's the only thing I did. I realized I was doing that as I got a little too focused on tweaking without recording, but I just wanted to let you know that if you're picking up directly after the first video and you notice some changes, that's the only thing I did there. But overall, yeah, I think it's looking pretty good so far. I feel like we have a nice top half going, and we just need to start adding the detail to this bottom half of the character, and we'll be all set to go. I might change this emblem a little bit or add a bit more details toward the end, but we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. So let's keep going. So here, what I'm going to do actually is add a bevel. So I'm going to hit this edge, R to select, and then I will 3 to go into face select mode, and then select that edge, maybe even select this one right here. So shift select all of that, hit E to extrude, and then right click to set back into place, and then just hit S to scale up proportionally along all the sides to give it like a subtle trim right there. I thought that'd look really good once it was texture painted. And yeah, looking pretty great so far. I think it's looking pretty good. I noticed that we have this edge selected here, and I do want to scale this up like that. The reason being so that when you are looking at the mesh, you see like a slightly sharper line there. And I think that ends up looking a bit nicer. And looks more like metal-ish, right? I want to imply that this is a metal gauntlet, while this guy's wearing sort of like tabbards below. Yeah, okay. Good start so far. So let's keep going. Let's add a belt. And the way we're going to do that is... what's the best way to do this? I think I'm going to do a Shift A, and I'm going to add a plane. Rotate that plane forward, bring it up along the Z axis, and then let's position that forward like here. And then we will add an edge loop down the center, and then go into edit mode and delete these vertices. Add a mirror modifier like you've seen me do before. And yeah, we are off to the races. So what I'm going to use this mesh to make a skirt, belt type of thing. So I'll position this like right here, I guess, and I'll go into 2 to go to edge select mode, stay in the front, and maybe go like extrude, undo that extrusion, maybe rotate like this for a second, and then go into 3 to go into the side view, extrude, maybe rotate again, and position it, and then go to the back, and then extrude, rotate this like that, shoot one more time, and then I'm going to turn on clipping because I forgot to do that the first time, and then snap these together so that they connect. And now let's bring this out a little bit, and then let's bring this guy out a little bit, like that. Maybe we'll bring this guy out, this one out a little bit, and basically I'm just selecting these edges to start shaping it around this character's waistline, I guess, or like waist shape. And yeah, like that. That's pretty good. Maybe bring this in. Again, I don't have to worry about the other side because I did a mirror modifier, and so we all know how that works at this point. Mirror modifiers allow us to get the perfect symmetry on the edge that we are mirroring against. And yeah, so this is looking pretty good so far. I think maybe I almost want this to be kind of like a high-waisted belt. Like, you know, in some animes, I think in like Attack on Titan, they do this where they're sort of bolter tassels or harnesses that allow them to move quickly are like higher waisted belts that have a few more buckles. So I think what I'm going to do is position this to be a bit higher along this guy's waist. So I'm going to scale it in here and maybe bring this up, scale it in here like that, and maybe scale it like this. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Sweet. Yeah, it looks pretty good so far. So now I'm going to go in the front view and maybe just sort of bring this down a little bit to give it a little bit of depth like this. And basically I'm just like plane modeling at this point. I'm not really doing anything crazy like with different modifiers. I'm just modifying the individual planes positions or the vertices of the plane so that they are positioned well, because I know what I'm going to do in the end is extrude to make a thicker face. And yeah, I think I'm overall generally pretty happy with how this looks at this point. Maybe something like that. And yeah, alright, great. We are rocking right now. So we'll go 3 and go into face mode. We'll hit E to extrude. And then we're just going to extrude up like this so that it gives it a little bit more thickness. And maybe we will... no, I don't want that selection. We will select box form, and then we will scale along the Y like that. And maybe position it along the Y like that as well. And there we go. We got kind of like a harness for like maybe a pouch of equipment, or like maybe a special holy relic or books or something like that. So I think that's pretty good. Nice, perfect. I like how that looks. Yeah, I'm liking how that looks. So let's go back in here. Maybe go into edge mode. Maybe just adjust this skirt a little bit. It's looking, maybe it actually needs to sit something closer to that. Yeah, I think that's actually a bit better. That looks more like that looks more Tabbard-ish, I have to say. Maybe I'll bring this forward a little bit, because what I want to actually do ultimately is have like a single Tabbard dropping down straight down the middle. But for now, we are good with this. Let's add a subdivision surface, up it a little bit, and then we'll start adding bevels around the edges to kind of, yeah, like that. So we'll select these edges right here to make it a complete edge loop. Control B to bevel, and then like we'll go 1 tick to make 1 edge loop straight down the center of that bevel. And we will do the same thing here. So we'll do like this, and maybe select this guy and this guy, so that we have a completed edge loop like that. Control B to bevel, and then just very, very close to each other, just do a nice little bevel. And yeah, perfect, sweet. I'm liking that. Maybe I will, maybe I'll add an edge loop here, like that. Why not? Nah, that's actually not needed. But what I will do is add a bevel right here to give this section a bit of a sharper edge, and I think I want one as well right here. Yeah, perfect. Cool. I'm liking this. Yeah, I like that. Maybe I'll even increase the height a little bit. Or you know what, I can probably do that by doing this, maybe scaling it a touch, maybe like that, and then going into vertex mode and going here, scaling it in, maybe positioning it like this, maybe even out. Yeah, perfect. Cool. Alright. So we're cooking right now. Maybe we will scale outside and do this guy like that. Okay, cool. Nice. Now we got a little sort of a this could be like a multi-pouch belt. So what I'll do is I'm actually going to take this mesh right here, duplicate it, and then let's get rid of the mirror modifier in this one. And we'll just rotate like this, scale it up, and scale it like that. And we will use that as our mesh for a belt along his waist. So no point in having to recreate stuff when you don't need to, I say. So we will do this, we'll scale it in, and then what we probably could do is select the bottom edge loop there and maybe scale it up like that so that it is not overlapping too much. Scale it out like this, maybe even select this one, scale it in some ways. And yeah, there you go. Got a belt going. I don't mind that. It's not too bad. We will scale on the Y, scale on the X, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that's looking so far. I think what I'd like to do is for this to be a touch like thicker to the bottom somehow. Maybe go like that, and maybe like this might be okay. It's looking a little it's looking a little big there. Maybe this was just fine as is. We'll add an edge loop down the center to flatten it out a little bit. And honestly, what I know I need to do probably is just select these edge loops and maybe just move them around a little bit so that's not so much of a harsh overlap like that, and it looks more like it's sitting along this underlying sort of pouch, hip guard, leather armor thing. Okay, cool. That's looking great. Yeah. There we go. I'm liking how that's looking so far. Yeah, perfect. Cool. So we'll do the same thing. We'll take this belt buckle. We'll delete the mirror modifier on this particular duplicate. We will bring it right here, maybe rotate, bring it forward a little bit, go back to the front view, rotate it like that, probably scale it up a little bit so that it's a bit more proportionate to the size of the belt. Give it some thickness here, and maybe something like this. Yeah, cool. I like this. Yeah. Yeah, I'm liking that. It's not bad. We'll bring it here. Maybe we'll offset it a little bit. Again, I don't need to get too finicky with this. And I'm sure if y'all are following along, or if you've watched this far, you're going to be doing your own style anyways. But I think that's not bad. I think what it needs is I'm going to add one more mesh cube here. We'll bring a cube like that, scale it in a touch, and then scale it like this, bring it forward, and then sort of zoom in a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. This. Rotate like that. Like this. And then we will add a subdivision surface. Bump up the scale and add probably an edge loop down here is enough. You know what, we'll add 2 edge loops. Add one right here, one here. And maybe one more right there. And it's just sort of position that so it looks like it's wrapping in and around. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty good. Perfect, cool. Yeah, just a slightly different belt buckle for this one. Might even style it a little bit different from the other ones. Like, I'll maybe add an edge loop right here, and then point this a little bit. Maybe select these 2 edge loops and bring this forward, so it's more of like a thicker buckle that looks distinctly different from the other ones. And yeah, I think that's it pretty good overall. I think that's pretty good. Yes. let's see how it looks underneath. Let's get rid of this base model reference for a second. Okay, cool. Cool. It's looking pretty good so far. I'm liking how these guys turning out. Maybe we should make a little pouch, a couple pouches for him. So to do that, we will go cube. We'll go front view, maybe drop a edge loop straight down the center. Delete these vertices, add a mirror modifier, as we always do. And then bring this like that. So now if we want a little pouch thingy, maybe we'll do, what's a good size pouch for him? Maybe like this, something like that. Maybe he keeps like healing herbs or something in there. Let's add an edge loop right here, and then let's bring, let's bring this whole edge up like this. And then we will actually extrude this one forward like that. And then maybe bring this guy down. Same with this guy down a little bit. Yeah, it's not bad. And maybe we'll add a little edge loop here. Slide that edge, bring this down. Maybe even bring this guy down a touch. And you know what? While we're at it, let's bring this out. Let's like round it out a little bit. This sort of this little pouch he has. I'm just adding some details at this point because I think it'd be nice. It's a nice little touch for him. Let's add the mirror modifier, or no, let's add the subdivision surface to see how that looks. Looks a little bit odd, but that's okay. We will add an edge loop right here. We'll add a bevel right here. We'll add one right here. And then we will also add one along this back line. Bevel these down. Maybe bevel these guys. Bump it up a touch. And yeah, I think that's not bad. Cool. So we got a nice little pouch for him to use along his stuff. On his travels to evangelize the other adventurers, would-be adventurers. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Maybe if I bring this in a little bit like that. Yeah, perfect. Maybe if I bevel this, it sort of implies a loop, right? No, I don't want to do that. This is fine. Rotate, because honestly what you could do in texture painting is add the extra detail that you might want in this particular character. So let's do that. Let's go maybe rotate like this. Might honestly need to scale it down even a little bit. Let's do something like that. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. There, nice. Yeah, okay, cool. He's got one pouch over here. We will duplicate that and like rotate it. And then maybe we will scale it in a little bit so it's like narrower. Yeah, scale it in a little bit so it's narrower. And then maybe rotate. Scale it like this a little bit. Then we will position this right here. Kind of like that. And maybe put two of them on this one. It's kind of like mini, smaller pockets. This. Yeah, perfect. Cool. Yeah, I love that. Cool. That's looking pretty sweet, actually. I do like that a lot. What I almost want to do is I almost want to add an edge loop right here, and then I'm going to extrude this out for a second. Let me see if this idea works out. And I will select these edges right here, and I'll bevel this to make it look like a sharper thing. Yeah, here you go. Cool. And then we'll go 3 into face select and scale this down a little bit. And nice. Yeah, I like that. It's not too bad. I almost want to give. Okay, you know what? Let's do it. Let's give him some sweet detail to really hammer the fact that he's kind of like a cleric paladin. Let's give him a holy book. So let's get a cube in here. Let's bring it over here. Let me think how I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I don't think I actually need a mirror modifier for this one. So let's scale this guy up a little bit. Maybe scale it like that, so it's more bookish. Maybe like this, and then scale it back down to a decent book size. Hey, yeah, that's pretty good. Next, what we will do is we'll select this face and we'll extrude up. And then we'll select this face and we'll extrude up. Then we will select these faces right here, like that, and extrude, and then scale. Right click and scale, and then maybe just position them. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, it's not too bad. I think these edges are sort of in a weird place, but that's okay. We can fix that. We can fix that by bringing them in like this. Perfect. Cool. And then let's select this face, bring it up a little bit so it almost looks more like a book face. Same thing here. And then, you know what? We'll extrude the binding. I think this is how binding works, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we'll do something like that. No, actually, you know what? What this probably should be is I probably should maybe extrude this edge up like that. Straight up like this. And do the same thing here. Extrude that up. Bring that straight down. And then probably what I should do is select these two and then merge at first. Yeah, that makes sense. Select these two, merge at last. Do the same thing for this guy right here. Merge at last, then merge at last. Okay, just remember when you're doing that merge at last, the order in which you merge is pretty important. So just keep that in mind. Like, merge at last means you merge at the position of the last vertex you select. So that's all it means. Anyway, now I'm selecting all these faces because what I'm going to do is extrude this out to give it a binding, kind of like a proper book binding. And there you go, yeah. Sweet. That's not too bad, right? I kind of like that. Let's make this look more bookish. So we'll add like a bunch of edge loops by hitting Control R. And maybe adding a bunch of loops like that. And then using the scroll wheel. Maybe we'll select like a couple of random ones here. And then maybe bring it in to imply sort of a jagged book edge. And yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I think that's not too bad. Let's select these same ones here. We'll select all the same ones we moved, and then we'll like move those as well. So select all the same ones we moved before and move those up, maybe sort of like to imply pages, you know. So let's go into this side, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. And then maybe we'll bring this down a little bit. There you go, nice. He's got like a cool book. He's got a cool book for himself. I love that. Maybe we will bring this forward to round out the spine. But he's got a holy text now. I love that. Scale it down a little bit. And then maybe we'll rotate. And we will rotate along the back. Yeah, rotate along the back. Let's save this so that we don't lose our work for a second. Yeah, save this on there. And there we go. Okay, cool. So, I do want to position it like here as if it's sort of always on his person and he can just whip it out whenever he needs to. Maybe something, maybe like, yeah, maybe like that. It's not bad. Yeah, okay, cool. Maybe even like lower down, and then I can maybe make like some sort of chain tassel or something that connects it so that it looks like it's always like connected to his belt hoop. Okay, sweet. That's pretty cool. I do like that a lot. Yeah, I like that a lot. Let's do one piece. Let's do one little detail. Yeah, let's do one little detail. Let's take a icosphere, and we will position it right here, sort of like on the edge of this book. And I'm just going to use the icosphere for now to imply sort of chains. The icosphere like that, and then maybe let's add a decimate. Yeah, let's decimate this down. So we will use the decimate function and then reduce the ratio to get like a more of a sharper, like less faces to make it look less of a perfect circle. So maybe we'll go 0.25 for a ratio. 0.25. And yeah, nice. So we'll apply that. And then we'll go back into object mode and we'll just like duplicate this, maybe do a quick rotate. Position it like that, duplicate, rotate, rotate, maybe position. And then basically just use it as like a implied chain links connecting the book back to his belt. So that's all I'm doing. And I'm okay with all these meshes overlapping because again I'm going to use the remesh tool, the remesh modifier, in order to combine it all into a single mesh so that it's easier for 3D printing. So I'll get to that at some point. But right now I'm just interested in making a character model that I am happy and proud of. So hopefully y'all are doing the same thing. Let's keep going here, like this. Yeah. Do something like that. Maybe keeps leading up into his belt. And it's perfect. Cool. I love that. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, it looks pretty sweet actually. Wow, that's pretty cool. Gotta say, it's pretty cool. Alright, nice. So all that's left now is to make the boots. So to do that, let's take, you know what? Let's make our life easier, right? Let's take this mesh that we made earlier for the elbow guards. We'll delete the mirror modifier on this duplicate, and we will use this as the front. We'll use this as the knee guard. So we'll rotate this like that, maybe like this, like that. Maybe rotate it down, maybe like that. Bring this like here, something like this, and then we'll just bring it forward and bring it down. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I almost want to bring it like right here, and what I actually will do is I'm actually going to modify the base mesh to give myself a little bit longer legs, because I do want, yeah, just something like that. There we go. Perfect. Nice. Okay, cool. So we'll use this as the starting point and make the we'll make the boots according to this character. According to this. So let's do a cube. Our favorite mesh here. We'll add a edge loop right here. We'll go into edit mode. Select all the vertices, delete, mirror modifier, clipping, maybe add one more edge loop right here. And then let's position it like that, maybe scale it up a touch. Yeah, scale it up a touch, put it back here, bring back our reference model. Yeah, maybe scale it like this. Perfect. Cool. Now, let's get to, maybe we'll throw one more edge loop right here. And now let's get to modifying this guy. So we have clipping up, and we're going to go like maybe something like this to imply where the calf will be. And then let me take this 25mm base reference and bring that down. Select these edges, bring this down. And scale it in a tiny bit. Scale this in a tiny bit. Like that. Cool. And then, you know what? Let's select this front edge. Let's just select these front edges. Bring this forward to round out the shape a little bit. And maybe I can even select these edges, bring it back to help round out the shape. Rotate it a little bit so that it is in line with the base mesh. I want that. Bring it out like this. Maybe even flare this out a little bit. Turn back on our reference so that it all makes sense. And okay, so that's not too bad. I don't think that's too bad. Let's scale this up a little bit, and then let's scale this up a little bit, because I do still want to maintain that like disproportionate sort of large, disproportionate style that I've sort of developed for the past little while. So I am going to purposefully skew some of the. I'm going to purposefully skew some of the proportions here so that it looks characterized, Again, feel free to do whatever you want to do for your particular mesh, but I'm just trying to follow the style that I've sort of developed over the past little bit, and the style that I've come to enjoy making and printing and using in my own games and stuff. So yeah, we will bring this down, bring this guy down a little bit, maybe flare this guy out a tiny bit. Nice. Okay, cool. That's looking like a pretty good boot. I like that boot so far. Maybe we'll even bring this forward a touch, and even maybe select both of these and bring them back. What I will do is actually, I'm going to use another mesh to imply where the pants are, not just sort of like free legs there. But overall, I think that's looking pretty good so far. I think what I will do is add one more edge loop right here, and maybe I will select all these guys for a second and do like an extrusion, because I want to imply that this is like a plate of armor in front of maybe some like leather pieces underneath. So yeah, let's do it like that. Something akin to this. Maybe even select these faces right here and push these out a little bit. Maybe do the same thing. All right, sweet. Yeah, it's pretty good. So we'll scale this in. Scale this in a little bit. Maybe even scale it like that. And then we'll go back into the edge mode. Maybe move some of these guys around. Alright, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I gotta say, I'm gonna delete this face, and it's probably gonna end up breaking. Oh no, we're good actually. Nice. Alright, sweet. Nice. That looks pretty good overall. Next, I'm going to add a subdivision surface up the edges a little bit, and then let's start adding some edge loops to make a more of a obvious crease for some of these. So we'll add one right there, then we'll add one right here, and then we'll add another one like right there, maybe one more right here, and yeah, it's pretty good. I'm liking this so far. I'm liking how this is looking. Maybe we'll add one more edge loop right here to give it that sharper corner, and maybe one more like that. Done. Nice. That looks great. Yeah, it looks great. Like it a lot. Sweet. So we got a boot so far, and then again, what we'll do is reuse some of the belt mesh we've used in other places. So we'll use this guy, scale this up a little bit, maybe rotate it like that, position it where it makes sense, and maybe do something like this. take it in a little bit, and then maybe rotate it again so it makes a bit more sense here. Yeah, cool. Cool. It's not too bad. Not too bad, actually. Maybe I'll select the edge loops here and just sort of move them around and rotate them so that they are more sensibly placed. Yeah, okay, I like that. And then there's one more edge loop I want to impact, which I think is this one. So I'm going to move that and maybe do another rotation. Done. That's looking great. Push this guy out. Done. Cool. Looking good. Looking really good. Liking it a lot. Maybe we will duplicate this down, and then we will scale it in a little bit, maybe even scale it narrower, scale it in even more. Cool, 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 cool. Yeah, looking pretty clean, pretty clean. I almost want to like, you know what I almost want to do? Let's do it. Let's add a sphere. And then we will drop it right here. We'll scale it up and we'll scale it down. We'll scale it along the X like this, and we'll also scale along the Y like that. And then we will drop it right here so that it also looks like the the knee pad is connected by some sort of tassel or belt buckle. All right, great. That looks awesome. What we will do is one more thing. We will take these buckles that we've made in other places and basically just start throwing them where they should be for the boots. So do something like this, scale it like that, maybe rotate, bring it in, rotate, something like this. That looks good. Yeah, that looks pretty good, right? Yeah, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Duplicate this, scale it down, rotate, position it like that. Done. Done. Nice. Looks awesome. Okay, cool. We are doing some damage on this character. It's looking great. So let's add a edge loop right here, because what I want to do is go into face select mode, select all these faces, select this one and this one as well, and we will hit E to extrude, S to right click to position it back exactly where it was, and then S to scale up to make an implied trim right there. I'm not going to add a bevel or anything to make it a harsh trim. I just did want to like add a trim to make it look a little more finished. And yeah, it's looking great. I think what we'll do now is, you know what, we could probably honestly like up the size of these boots a little bit so that they look almost proportionate. Or we could even just like, yeah, you know what, let's do it. We will make a mesh of a cube right here. And then we'll do, you know, my favorite thing in the world, edge loop right there. Select these vertices right here, and then add a mirror modifier, add clipping, and then we'll throw another one right there. Basically, we're going to turn this into the boot. So let's scale this whole object up like this, maybe even scale it up like that, scale it like this, again, cool, and then maybe like that, GX, perfect. Great. Done. That looks good, right? Okay, cool. We will move this around just to imply more of a boot shape. Maybe do something like that. And maybe even bring this guy forward. Bring these edges forward to round out the guy's boot. Something like that. Maybe bring this in a little bit. Maybe bring this guy in. And this guy, and this guy. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, not too bad. GY on that one. Honestly, I might also just bring this back even more and bring these down. Yeah. Yeah, that feels right. That looks better. Nice. Okay, cool. Cool. So we will scale this up a little bit. And now, I think this boot is pretty good. Let's add a subdivision. And then let's add some, bump it up, bump the levels up. And then let's add some bevels. You know what, we don't even need to add bevels really, we can just add edge loops here. So we'll add an edge loop there, we'll add a bevel right here, and we'll throw an edge loop right here. And then, maybe I'll throw one more edge loop right here, and bevel this guy. Yeah, okay, good. Nice. Okay, cool. So bump this up a little bit, and then we'll drop down this a touch, and yeah, now we have a boot. I think what I might actually do at this point is apply the mirror modifier. So now what you see is that the resulting edges have become actual faces you can modify, and the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to sort of tweak one of the sides, because I don't want it to be perfectly symmetrical at this point. I'm going to be moving things around a little bit to just shape it more into like a foot kind of shape. Something like this. Maybe move these guys in a little bit. But honestly, I'm trying to get that nice sort of curve right here that you often see in shoes, or in your, not often see, you always see in your feet. And yeah, there you go. All right, cool. That's pretty good. Scale that up, and I think I'm more or less happy with that. It's not too bad. Not too shabby. I almost want to add like a little foot, like a toe pad, like a toe guard some ways. So to do that, let's see. To do that, I think what we'll do is add a plane, rotate it along the x-axis, go forward, add the edge loop as usual, like this. Go into vertex mode, add a mirror modifier. Nope, not mask. Add a mirror and do clipping. Now, let's start extruding this and scaling it. Extrude, scale, like this. Maybe even scale this up and bring it down some ways. Scale this up, scale this up. Now we will move this forward. This one forward a little bit, and this one forward a little bit. Yeah, let's bring these, let's make a nice curve on all of these actually. And then we will I'll take these vertices and really curve it out, because I'm going to use this as like a toe pad for this boot thing. Cool. And maybe sharpen it like that. Now, let's select all these faces, extrude. Nice, I like that. Let's go into edit mode, scale this forward a little bit, maybe even select these top faces and push it back, and maybe even do a little rotate. You know what, no, it's fine. Select these edges, or these vertices, even it out, touch. Okay, cool. I think we're cooking. So, subdivide, bump up the levels, maybe add a couple of edge loops, you know? Add an edge loop right here, maybe an edge loop right here. We'll select these edges, like that, and then maybe one more right here. And actually I'll add one like that. Perfect, cool. So now that we have this, let's select all these faces, or these vertexes. Select a bunch of them. We'll do a little rotating to make them, give them a little more curvature right here. Bring this up. Even rotate this guy a little bit like this. and bring this in. And yeah, cool. We'll scale it down a little bit. And now let's position this by the boot. So we will go to the front view. We'll go here, side view. Maybe we'll rotate up like this. And then we could position it like that, something like this, to give it kind of like a toe cap, which I do like. Nice. Yeah, there you go. Cool. Just a little edit, just a little piece of extra detail, you know? Sweet. Yeah, it's looking great so far. We are almost done this character model, honestly. Let's add some pants. And to do that, we are just going to take a simple cube. And then we are going to scale it up to be able to cover the entire thigh area. GY like this. GX. That. Now we are going to add an edge loop right here. Scale that in. This. Maybe even select this face right here. This top face. Scale this in a little bit. Scale here along the Y. Rotate a little bit. And then let's select here. Do something like this to imply where the pants sort of connect into the boots. Or into the boot. That. Okay, cool. Let's save this for a second. Perfect. And now scale this up a little bit. Let's apply a subdivision to round it off. And there you go. Cool. Kind of like a nice little pant thing going on. Maybe like that. Maybe if I even scale it up like this and position it a little bit more intentionally. Sweet. That's looking pretty good. Cool. Cool. I like how that's looking. It's looking great. Now, you know what? We do need to move some of these things around a little bit. So let's select all of this good stuff. Let's even select this, and this guy. Let's see, did I hit everything? Yeah. Let's select everything and almost like do something like this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, let's do like that, because this blue line here is our line of symmetry, and we're going to mirror it on the other side, but we don't want them overlapping because that's going to be a bit problematic. So what I'm going to do is modify the base mesh to allow me to do that. So let's move the base mesh around a little bit so that it's still along with the underlying, it matches where we want to position the clothing. And there you go. Sweet. I think that looks overall not too bad. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. Cool. Now let's mirror this. So let's make sure we don't have a mirror modifier on anything. We got a mirror on this guy, so we will apply this one. And then no, looks like we're good. Oh, we got a mirror on this guy as well, so let's apply that. We'll hit save. We'll save this as a new type. I personally like to save my files as like new versions every single time, so that I can always revert back to an old one if I ever applied a modifier that I didn't want to apply. And yeah, cool. So let's bump up the thing on this guy. Let's even increase the size of this, because we love the disproportionate sort of scaling on some of these characters sometimes. Let's bring this forward. Let's make sure it's not overlapping. Yeah, all right, let's do it. So we will apply a mirror modifier. We'll hit the on the reference object in the back, and we're just going to do that for every single piece of mesh we have for the boots here. Let's hit this guy, mirror. Let's get this perfect. Let's get this guy, mirror. Let's hit right here, perfect. And then mirror. Where is it? Mirror. Hit the mesh. Mirror. Hit the correct reference. And then we just got to do the buckles and the boots. So honestly, what I could have done is just like joined all of these into one. But for the moment, I do want them all as separate pieces. Because I personally think it's a little easier to work with than to join them and then have to unjoin them later if I, for whatever reason, need to modify something. So I like to leave the joining and the remeshing at the very end once I'm fully happy with how this character is looking. So mirror one more time, hit that object, and boom! Done and done. Cool. We got a pretty sweet looking Paladin dude. Paladin cleric person. Yeah, and I think they look pretty good. Let's maybe like increase this maybe. Yeah, do something there. Maybe even bump that up a little bit. Or maybe that skirt is flaring out a little too much, given too much of an A-line style, but that's okay. Sweet, that looks awesome. Yeah, it's looking pretty Paladin-ish, I gotta say. I think so. I think it looks pretty sweet. We will now add a tabard, because I mentioned that before. So we will do that by making a mesh, and then hiding all of our stuff. Edge mode, add an edge loop straight down the middle. Edit mode, vertex, delete all these vertices. Mirror modifier, turn on clipping. Alright, cool. Now scale it in like this, something like that. And then we will scale it up and along the X like this, turn back on all of our stuff. And let's do something like this. So let's make his tabard like maybe that big. Yeah, maybe even scale it down a little bit. Now we'll add a couple of edge loops. We will add a couple of edge loops right here. Sorry, like this. And then we will bring this forward a touch. Even add an edge loop here. Add an edge loop right here. Bring this back a touch so that it looks almost like it's following the shape of his body. Bring this forward, maybe select these faces down here and bring these forward. Nice, cool. We got a tabard going. Lovely, love that. Next, we will probably just shape it a little bit to flare out towards the bottom, you know? And maybe kind of take in. Sort of squeeze in at the center there. And maybe we will even move this up so it's rounded a bit. Love that. Cool. It's looking great. And then I want this tabard to be a little bit longer than the underlying skirt. So maybe something like this. Perfect. Cool. Nice, that looks great. I think that's looking pretty good. So we'll bring it in a little bit. Maybe bring it forward so it's not overlapping too hard. Nice, cool, cool, cool. And then we will add one more edge loop right here. And then select these three faces. E, right click, and then scale. And even scale along the Y to give it a trim. And there we go. So apply a subdivision surface, maybe bump up the levels a touch, but I think we're pretty much there with this guy. we will add a bevel right here, and then we'll maybe add an edge loop right here. And there you go. Nice. Cool. It's looking pretty good overall. Bring it in. Maybe bring it forward. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. Nice. I'll rotate this, maybe flare this out to make it more of an obvious skirt thing. Yeah, there we go. We got a cleric paladin guy looking pretty good overall, I think. Maybe bump up the size of that thing. And yeah, we're pretty much there now. So I think that's looking pretty good overall. You should be good to call it at this point if you followed along for this far, but maybe I'll do one more video about adding some details, maybe like maybe a sheath, maybe a weapon, and maybe fix up maybe some trimmings to make a reference to whatever god he follows. But I think we're pretty much there. You got a cleric paladin with a hood, some cool anime hair, even a holy sort of text, some armor along his legs and his arms, and a tabard, and priest cleric clothes. So overall, I think this worked out pretty well. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Leave any comments down below if you have any questions or ways I can improve. And maybe look out for the part 3 if I'm going to finish this up by adding some equipment. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Thanks for watching the video. If you like my content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let me know down below what you want to see next, or just check out some of these other great videos. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.